All right, shalom, shalom. All right. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Hey, double honors unto my apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. Shalom. All right. Gonna check the volume. All right, we good. All right. So, hey, shalom, brother. Hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, so we're gonna get straight to it. Lord willing, this is informative, edifying, because I was watching. I saw two videos recently. One video was on YouTube of one of these prepper pages, and he was speaking about civil unrest. Right. Matter of fact, so let's just start with that. What does that mean? What is the definition of civil unrest? Civil unrest occurs when people hold protests and act out violently, requiring public safety officials to get involved. All right, that's the definition of civil unrest. And so I saw a video, and this one guy was predicting what he sees playing out over the next several days and going into the inauguration, right? And then last night late, I was scrolling on X, which is formerly known as Twitter, and I came across the Alex Jones page. I follow Alex Jones on the page, and in his live stream, he had 2.4 million people watching the live stream, right? And he was speaking about same subject matter, civil unrest, possibility of voter fraud, and et cetera, and like, see, even right now, that's crazy. Even right here, let me show you. All right, so this is my computer, and I just did a simple search, as you can see, of civil unrest. And as you can see, there's different articles already being spoken on. Portland police, leaders discuss preparing for a possible civil unrest after election. DC bracing for possible riots and civil unrest around election. You see, these are what's being spoken on, right? Simple search, All right, so we're gonna get to some scriptures that goes into this subject matter. First one, let's go to bear me 1 second. There's a second Ezra 15. Bear me. Second Ezra 15 and 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men and invading." I'm gonna go up a verse. Let's go to Second Ezra 15 and 14. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." And woe means destruction. All right. So again, when you're dealing with these the times that we're in, you have to see that there's nothing but bad that's coming this place. It's not about fear mongering. It's about literally accepting the reality of the times that we're in. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." And that's civil war. When that occurs here in this land, that's what you get as considered a civil war. "And one people shall stand up to fight against another." Who are, your Americans going to stand up and fight against? They're not standing up to go fight against Polish people in this grand scheme of civil unrest. It's going to be Americans against Americans. That's all that's going to happen. All right. And it doesn't matter what people, scoff and scorn and disbelief and can't see. It doesn't really matter. It's happening. I just showed all the articles of the fact of these people are predicting this across the country in different areas. Both sides are mad. Both sides are anxious. They're worried. Both sides. If you go on X again and you look at what people are talking about, a lot of people are still in the mind frame of it's not going to be an election. That's why I said, even with the whole, Alex Jones, however you feel about him, the fact of the matter is, on a random Tuesday night, right? Or he had over 1 million people in his stream. That's not anything little, So again, let's reading on. And it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? Sedition. Sedition, civil unrest and sedition go hand in hand with each other, because when it turns violent, see, you have a right for a peaceful protest, but when it turns into destruction and violence, that's a problem. And then what happens? That's when the police get involved. They send out the paddy wagons, and then they're going to tell the people to do what? Disperse. Now, what happens if you don't disperse? Now you're acting in a seditious manner. So it says, "For there shall be sedition among men," and that's what's coming. All right. These people are over it. Oops, sorry. Shalom, shalom. So like I said, civil unrest, it's coming. I was meditating on it earlier with thinking about this and saying, be on the watch, watch as well as pray, but, everybody's pushing this vibration that, something could happen or will happen during that day, on the election day, and this, that, and the third. And it's like, man, you just got to be mindful that, because people be taking these things to heart. They be expecting things, and it's like you got to be mindful and see the long game. It's going to happen in a season, but these people are being broken. Like the saying goes, when people have what was that, Gerald Salente said, when people have nothing to lose, and they lose everything. When they have nothing else to lose and they lose everything, they lose it. Something of that paraphrase. All right. These people are still in the losing phase. So that anger is going to get there. It's got to boil. It's got to boil over in these people's spirits to get to the place of just saying F it to everything. What we got? Zechariah 1 and Zephaniah 1 and 14. "The great day of the Lord is nigh, it is nigh, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly." Yep, that day is the day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wastedness and desolation, and a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced city and against the high tower. See, that's a heavy precept. That's it. That's it. The great day of the Lord is we're quickly approaching. That's why it's important for us to just lock in, take whatever we dealing with. We're all catching hell. We're all, we're all in the thick of it. But we gotta just keep going, because, man, we're at the brink of it, man. Like I say, man, these people, man, it may not happen. I'm not even trying. Well, finish my point there of, it may not happen in the next few days. It may happen, but going out of their way to sign up for the military, and that's because there's no patriotism. Let's look up that word. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm looking for. I'm not looking for news. Sorry. All right. Patriotic. Having or expressing a devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. Do you believe that the American citizens are very devoted to and vigorously supporting for one's country? No. All right. So again, all of this goes in hand. If you're not in support of, listen, like everybody tries to live into the, let's get this, that's a good scripture. Everybody tries to live in that gray area, you know, um, the hey, you don't fuck with, that energy, it's like either you love me or you hate me. And people need to understand that. That's why the Lord said you can't serve two masters. Here's the scripture, Amos 3:3, and it says, can two walk together except they be agreed? And these citizens of America aren't walking in agreement with America. All right. I've always said this, as old as, I mean, I'm not that old, but I can remember witnessing enough elections in my times to see, man, prior to the Obama election, man, I remember it just used to seem like these white people, man, these Americans, hey, your candidate lost, you accepted it, you supported America because people supported that they were more patriotic. But that ain't the case no more, man. Both sides are extremists and have wild ways on them. The red and the blue. Those that are for Kamala and those that are for Trump, if they are hostile. These are thugs. That's the irony of it. This whole political world has become really a world of gangbanging. What's the difference? The niggas out here they out here attacking each other, right? Tearing down each other's markings. You know what I'm saying? So again, can two walk together lest they be agreed? And Americans, citizens in America are not walking together in agreement. All right. So again, back into this second Ezra. All right, second Ezra 15:15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Like backing up with the Zephaniah 1. All right. Everywhere when you see, the problem with most people is they think the day of the Lord is a day at Disney World. Like the Lord gonna come back and take everybody. He gonna come back and in the first hour, it's just gonna be like Disney World for everybody and just eating, smoked turkey legs and funnel cake and shit, man. The day of the Lord is destruction, it's darkness, it's death, So again, it says their sword draweth nigh, destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another and swords in their hands. That's your civil war, like the movie that came out the top of the year, and a lot of people, let's look that up. Let's see. All right, so I just typed in simple Google search, Civil War in America today, right? And these are the articles, top stories. New York Times, earlier in the year, opinion, the real path to an American Civil War. Divided We Fall publication. Is America on the verge of another civil war? These are all this year. All right. Canada's big worry, a U.S. Civil War, June 11, 2024. CNN opinion, is the U.S. on the brink of another civil war? I could keep going. It's just plenty of articles and opinions of people speaking on, could it be possible for another civil war in America, man? All right. So that is ultimately the sedition among men. It's just going to be all out chaos. See, this is why, brothers and sisters, why it's a good habit to practice these words, man, these scriptures. Let's get a scripture. Let's get that. What is that? Bear with me. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hebrews 12 and 14. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. That's a good one. Where's that at? I'm looking for possible be at peace. Romans 12 and 18. Romans 12 and 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Right. So in these times where we are right now, it's a great time to, you got to exercise these things. This is not the time to match fire with fire. You know, the scriptures say the tongue is a powerful member. You know, you know, with the same, you can either put a fire out or you could make a fire build. So, you know, you got to really be in a time now, really in the spirit of putting fires out. You know, it's these people, and the reason why I'm saying all that is, you know, through the spirit, these people are ready to crash out, man. These people you live around, work around, you know, operate around in any capacity, they're all ready to crash out. All these people are ready to crash out. All of them. Because they don't have the spirit. They don't understand. They're in gross darkness. They don't know what's going on. See, the thing about it is with us, we live in the pain of being aware of what is going on to the fullest. We know what's going to happen. We know that this place is falling. We know that this place is going to get worse. We know that overall it's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. But we have hope in a new heaven and a new earth, as the scriptures say. And that's where our hope lies. Our hope lives in the space of, you know, our hope, our desire towards a new heaven and a new earth. But these people, they don't see a new heaven and a new earth coming. All they see is this, what's in front of them. That's all they see, right? So they don't have hope. They don't have a 10, 20-year plan, right? They said in an article I saw recently that, you know, our generation, it would be impossible for us to ever live like our mothers and our fathers' generation, that 60 and older generation, boomers, right? It would be impossible. It'll never happen because of the price of everything, you know, and how everything is going. So what do you think these people out here are living like, right? They're hopeless. So let's get a few more scriptures. Let's go to, I want to get Isaiah 19, right? It's dealing with the civil unrest, sedition, you know, what the scriptures have to say about that. All right, Isaiah 19 and 2, and it says, and I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight against everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's your sedition and civil unrest, you know. Now, sedition is the attacking of the government. Civil unrest doesn't have to necessarily be that, but in this regard, it's going to lead to all of this. It's going to turn, all these switches are going to, it's like the scriptures say, you know, that breaching wall. Something's going to cause the breach to occur, and everybody's going to lose their shit, and they're going to be like that scene in Kingsman, when they cut the volume up and everybody just went violent. That's what's coming, man. That's why I say, again, if it be possible, be at peace with all men. All right? Sweet language maketh friends. This is not a time to be Mr. Billy Badass, popping your shit. Niggas are crashing out. A lot of people may not be in that know, but you even have a genre of music called crash out music. All right. You literally have niggas crashing out because why? They don't want to live no more. And that's a dangerous space to be around people, is somebody that just don't give a F about nothing. He don't give a F. Hey, it's like Bishop in Juice. He was like, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about me. Like, you can't be around somebody like that. That's a crash out. And what did Bishop and Juice do? He crashed the hell out. All right, so let's read this Isaiah 19:19 again. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians. And this is speaking to you modern day Egyptians, which is America. All right, that's another not title for America. All right, within the scriptures is Egypt. This is Egypt all over again. So it says, when I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, you could really say Americans against the Americans, because that's what's going to happen, right? And in my prediction, this is just me speaking as a man, just really meditating on this subject matter. Civil war in America is going to be very regional, right? See, everybody thinks it's just going to be blue versus red, but it's going to be a lot of different shades of blue fighting. It's the dark blue, and then there's light blue. Like, these people are going to be fighting on all subject matters about everything. All right. If for instance, if Donald Trump wins, the biggest complaint and cry you're going to hear is women about abortion rights. That is going to be, they're going to be pissed off, protesting, angered. You're going to see that just as much as if you see on the flip side, Donald Trump, Kamala wins. The people in the red, they're going to have them anger and complaints. It's going to be like, especially if they believe it's voter fraud again, like you stole the election like they believe in 2016. Think about what happened. Because of that thought process, that led to January the 6th, where they invaded Capitol Hill, right? What you think? Even they're saying that on, like I say, on Twitter, these people, man, right? See, a lot of times, these people are manifesting these things and they don't even realize it because they're putting all their spirit into it. Like this idea of people in the streets and that energy, they're going to bring it. It's going to happen, because either way, you got to get your shit off. See, people are full of pride. Let's get that scripture too, right? Let's get that scripture. Yep, Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And everybody on the earth, and these people are full of pride, man. See, it used to be a time. I know a lot of people, like I said, I know, even though I'm not that old, I'm 38, but I know there's people that are young that may see this, and you may not have really seen it in such. But real life used to be that politics was not spoken. That was a private thing. People didn't speak on their voting, It was like, hey, this is how the government, this is how the American people have decided, and we're just going to move forward, and we're going to support the such and such, George W. Bush Jr., or whoever, Bill Clinton, whoever, right? And it was that. But now that pride got people in the senses of like, nah, I'm popping my shit. I'm gonna wear this MAGA hat. I wish somebody would say something to me. They get in character, right? It's like, nah, I'm MAGA. I wish somebody would say something about me. Or, nah, I support Kamala. I wish somebody would have something to say against that. Or you're a beastly, like I was watching earlier, Lil Scrappy. Like, who the fuck does this nigga think he is that he thinks he has any right or bearing on the minds of anybody for that matter? Mr. Mr. Headbuster. Like, but in his mind, he was in the video, he was like, man, He's like, man, I'm gonna remember all you, man, I remember all you black people that said if you support Trump, and if he wins, man, I'm gonna remember all of y'all, and I ain't gonna shake y'all hand no more. And really, y'all not black. Y'all not black to me no more. It's just like, bro, what is wrong with you? You know, you're you're a rapper. Who cares? Like, but that's the problem. That's that pride. That's that pride that's gonna come before the destruction on all these people, man. All these people, they think that their opinion on this matter really matters that much, you know? So again, it says, pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. It's that haughtiness, man. Let's look up that word haughty. What does it mean to be haughty? An arrogantly superior and disdainful. That's what it means to be haughty. And that's these people, you know? They wear their political colors literally on them. They are like, nah, I stand on this. If you not with this, like, fuck you. I'll leave my husband. I'll leave my wife. You're not my son if you don't. You're not my son if you don't vote for Kamala type energy. You know, that's gonna lead to dissension. That's not union. You know, being unified doesn't always mean we gotta agree on the same shit. Union, right? Or unity really could just simply be respecting. That's why I said it was more respect behind these things. There's no more respect in it. It's just straight arrogance and insults, you know, and tauntings, you know. So again, this is your third round. Ding, ding, ding. Trump again. We're gonna see what happens. But at the end of the day, whether anything happens between now and January, February, it's coming, man, because these people are crashing out. All right. Let's get some more scriptures. Let's go to all right. Let us go to you know what? Let's go to Jeremiah. We'll go to Jeremiah 50. Yep. And bear with me 1 second. Let's go to the next chapter. Let's see. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. Salakia. I don't got no list. I'm just going in the spirit. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 1. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will rise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind. Right? That's that thermonuclear destruction. And that's what's coming this way, you know? Destruction in that regard. See, it's levels before we just get to the full-fledged, that hour where the Lord turns this place into a lake of fire, right? Before we get to that point, it's just going to be conflicts and strifes and little wars, rumors of wars that are going to turn into full-fledged wars that are going to lead to what we know in the scriptures as World War III, that third woe, you know. That's what's going to happen, you know. It's just boiling over, you know, and you can see it. You know, you can see it within these nations. You know, you got BRICS. The BRICS are strengthening themselves up. They're getting traction on their feet. They're getting their currencies lined up. They're getting the military lined up. They're unifying, right? Because I'm pretty sure within even those nations, there's disagreements, but respect respect is just simply, hey, I respect you enough to stay in my lane, and sometimes that's enough, right? But America is losing its grips. America is losing its grips in that regard. All right. I was watching a video of what's the guy? Scott Rittner, I believe. And he was speaking about America, ex-military, high-ranking. And he was like, he said, man, it used to be a time where America used to be diplomatic, you know? And he was saying that if they would just put aside, because even he was admitting that the time, he said the scary part about where we're moving to is we're moving into a time where America is no longer the head nation in charge. See, everybody, he said, everybody that's alive right now, all you've ever known is America being the #1 country in the world. But we're moving away from that. Even he said, this is his words, right? Because it's over with, all right? The time of Babylon is coming to a quick end. All right, verse 2, and it says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Right. That's all of these. That's blowing the coals. All right. There is no putting this fire out. The scriptures say shall not have let's get there. Bear with me 1 second. Yep. This is 2 Ezra 16:3, and it says, a sword is sent among you, and who shall turn it back? A fire is set among you, and who may quench it? So here in Jeremiah, the scriptures is speaking about a fanner. That fire that the Lord has set, it ain't going out. Like I said, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until what we see, the Lord willingly, if we make it through, the Lord have mercy on us, is the lake of fire. It's just going to get, it's like a wildfire. All right. And it's just like, fuck, you think you done tried to put this fire out over here, and the fire done jumped over here to some dry hay. And then it went from the dry hay, you try to get some water, and it's just going to grow until it's just, I mean, I'm metaphorically speaking in the senses of that, but overall, that's what the Lord is doing. He's making this fire hotter. All right. Let me see what you brothers are putting some things. Shalom to all you brothers, man. All right. This is GMS Increased Truth. It says Matthew 24:6, and it says, and ye shall hear of wars, wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, and these are the beginning of sorrows. Right. That's the water for that. That's directly from Yahushua. And these are the signs of what we're going to see and witness, to know that we're in those times, that this is the end. All right. Those are signs. That's what the Lord was giving to the disciples of old, which are signs to us, the disciples of today. Right. But it says nations shall rise against nations. That's what we're witnessing. You know, it's war bubbling all around the globe at this point. That's why we're quickly approaching, as the title of it is, World War III. But see, this time World War III is going to be happening, and there's going to be a major conflict on American soil right along with it. It ain't going to just be some sweet shit while niggas is over there getting blown up to smithereens over there in the Middle East and different parts of the world, and you people just going to be over here, drinking frappuccinos and scrolling on TikTok all goddamn day. No, it's about to get rough. All right. These people, it's going to be made rough at 144. This thing is going to turn up, man. All right. See, here's the kicker to even the apostle naming the years what he does. You got to remember, number one, the next new year, the new year does not officially start in January the 1st. The new year doesn't start until the spring. So there's a lot of time. We're still in the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And all of these years of old, they don't go away as just the end of it. No, that's a spirit that's being carried. We're going to hit one day. All these is just going to ha. All right. That Jacob's trouble is going to be for real. All right. And it's not, and I like, and even with that, is Jacob's in trouble, Esau is in trouble, Elam is in trouble, Ammon is in trouble, Ishmael is in trouble, Ham is in trouble, Japhet is in trouble. All you fucking nations are in trouble right along with us. All right. But the elect out of the nation of Israel are the ones that the Lord is going to protect. That's it. All right. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that talk, none of that bullshit breakdowns. All right. Of trying to make it where all nations is going to be made, man. Ain't all nations going to be made. Going to make it, man. That's a lie that has been told and pushed out of here. See, when you want to know who's really the true men of the Lord, and I say this with humbly, is what are they going to? Are they going into what's going on in the world right now and tying it to biblical prophecy? These Christians have made it. There's a spirit because I had no tune to talk about this, but these Christians have made it where their whole energy is towards disproving that we're Hebrew Israelites or not. Man, teach the Bible. Teach the Bible. Teach what's going on. Let these people know that this place that we're in, Babylon the Great, is about to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. Teach that, because that's what we're going into. All right. What we got here? Luke 12:49. And it says, I have come to send fire on earth. See, and what will it if it already be kindled? See, that lines right up with Jeremiah 51 and 2 Ezra 16 about that fire. All right. The Lord is sending out a spirit of fire. This is not a cool time right now. It's hot. All right. It's hot in the spirit. It's boiling up. All right. And it's only going to be like a pressure cooker. Only but so much pressure is going to be able to continue before what? That top pop off. All right. That top going to pop. Right. So it got me thinking about one of my favorite movies, Salakia. If you ever seen it, it's an old movie. And Police Academy. Yep. Pressure Burst Pipes. Police Academy 1, right? Old movie. That movie came out in the early 80s, right? It's like one of my favorite movies. And in the movie, there's a scene, if you've ever seen this movie, where the cop bumps into these two silly ass cops, bump into these street thugs, and nothing happens. The cop gets in his car. He's eating an apple, and he takes a bite of the apple. He's like, "Ugh, it's a worm." And he's sitting in the passenger seat. He throws the apple out of the car, and it so happens to hit one thug that's walking, and he turns around and he thinks that these other two thugs threw the apple at him, right? So I'm making a point of that led to those 4 men fighting, that led to a riot in the city broke out, a whole riot in the city where the police had to get involved because this dumbass threw his apple out the car and it so happened to hit one person. It's going to be like that here. It's just going to happen. And ain't going to be no planned, it's obviously like, oh yeah, on Saturday. No, man, it's just gonna fucking one thing gonna lead to another thing that's gonna lead to another thing, and then it's gonna be like, this is the point of no return. All right. So Jeremiah 51 and 3, and it says, and against him, oh, well, again, I want to read this part, and it says, for in that day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Right. The her is Babylon, and all around about is these other nations. All right. That's these BRICS nations. These BRICS nations are outwardly showing that they are against this place. But what's going to be the big, the icing on the cake is when American allies show themselves to be against America. That's what's going to occur too. All right. At the end of the day, everybody on the planet Earth is going to be against this place. All right. Let's get that. Let's go to, what is that? Revelation, that Revelation 17. Bear with me 1 second. I'm looking for a precept. What is that? Bear me 1 second. All right. That's Revelation 17. Yep. Like I said, overlooking it. So let's read this real quick. Revelation 17 and 3, and we're going to skip down. And it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sat upon a scarlet colored beast full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was written a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations on the earth. And this is speaking about America. America is the whore, all right, that rode upon the beast of 7 heads and 10 horns. That's America. America is that whore, all right. How do you know that America is that whore? Because everybody in the world makes money off of America, all right. That's why when you read in the next chapter in Revelation, the 18th chapter, it speaks about the merchants standing off, weeping, because why? They saw their money ticket be destroyed. This is where they get rich. This is why you have billionaires and trillionaires in China, all right? That's why you have people in these other countries making money off of this place. This is the money maker, all right? This is where they sell their goods, your Dollar Tree, your Family Dollar, the food, the cars, the TV, the tools, you know, you name it. That all comes from somewhere in the other world, and they're making money off of us, all right? This is a consumer-based nation, okay? So now let's skip down to the point that I was going to get for time's sake, all right? Now, those 10 horns, those 7 heads and 10 horns, the 7 heads are the chief houses of Esau, right? Basically, that's your what is that going into your Romans, your Greeks, your British, your Spaniards, what is that? No, your Greek, your French. I think I added one. It's been a minute, but that's your Germain Major, Germain Minor, right? So like I said, that's that, and then your 10 horns, that's your NATO EU, because that broke down into 7 other into all these other nations that are unified where America sits. Okay, so again, that war is going to be on all fronts against this place. All the nations that are a part of the 7 heads and 10 horns, they're going to, as it says here in Revelation 17 and 16, and it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Right? That's the allies of America attacking it, America, right? That's your, like you said, the French, the UK, you know, and so many others. But those nations at one point were great allies to America. Okay. So again, those, and then these BRIC nations, because Russia's not part of the 7 heads and 10 horns, right? That when you read about Russia in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, okay, about that guard of a guard to those other nations as well. So, but all of this is going to come, nevertheless, all of these nations are prophesied to come against this place. America will stand alone in these times. Okay. So again, it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. They're going to hate this place. They already do. But something's going to happen where it's just going to be no, like I say, with all these things, you reach a point of no return. You know, when there's bloodshed, it ain't just simply going back to, oh, it's all good, right? Nah, you took it too far. Or, same thing with when you ever have a breakup, breakup with a woman, or, something happened where it's like, there is no mending this. This is it. It's over with. I can't move on. I can't let that slide. That's the same thing that's going to happen with America. These nations are going to be pissed. And when they get to that point of being pissed, that's it. That's it. It's over with. All right. what you got there? That's Obadiah 1:7, and it says, and the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, and the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a womb upon thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, you know, he doesn't perceive it out of pride. See, the pride that's on Esau is the pride that's on these people that don't see that this place is fallen. See, Esau has been moving in this world with such an energy of like, I'm the big dog. I'm God. He thinks he's God, right? That's how serious it is, you know, to the point where he doesn't see himself ever falling, right? So again, that's not the case. See, I don't give a damn how big and strong you are, right? Think about it, right? Like Debo. No matter how big you are, you could be Debo big, mean, violent, fearless. But man, if 20 niggas want to jump on you, man, you ain't getting up from there. Think about that. That standard applies to a neighborhood, and that applies to nations as well. I don't give a damn how strong you think you are, man. You are not stronger than the. That's why even it said in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, that the power shall be amongst the people. Roughly paraphrasing, because why? It's way more people than there are military men, and all of that shit, right? That's why Esau tiptoes around these things, because he knows there are 300 million people here, and there's more guns than people here. So yeah, a few people you might get a few people, but it's just waves and waves and waves. If everybody is in tune with that energy of it's all out anarchy, as the word is, chaos, right? So again, that was a good one, Obadiah. So let's go back to Jeremiah 51. I'm just building off of this, and I'm probably gonna close in a few minutes. And it says, and against him that bendeth, let the archers bend his bows, and against him that lifteth himself up in his bragaline. I'm saying that. Let's look that word up. That, bear me 1 second. Bear me 1 second. Let's look up that word. It says it's his armor. It's another word for armor. All right. So it says and lifted himself up in his armor, brigadine, if I'm saying that word correctly, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. So let's read this again. It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigadine, his armor, and spare ye not her young men. So this is the war. All right. Destroy ye utterly all her host, all your armies, all of these things, they're going to be destroyed. All right. Yeah. Craig and that brick brought his ass down. Exactly. See, no matter, Debo was terrorizing. That's just one person was terrorizing a neighborhood. But after that, it was over with. You know, that brick and that ass whooping changed the dynamic of it all. Now imagine if there was 20 Craigs, you know, 20 Craigs and one Debo. Debo would have got his ass. He would have, man, they would have killed him. So that's all these nations. All of these nations are basically in that when Smokey and Craig was on the front of on the porch, like, man, let's jump them. That's the bricks. That should be their mission statement. Man, let's jump them. You know, and that's all they want to do. It's because it's at the end of the day, there is strength in numbers. But see, that's where the Lord works his will. You know, that's where that power of the Lord comes in, where the Lord says he doesn't need numbers for the nation of Israel to take down these nations. That's the beautiful part about it. But in the spirit of Esau's, in this world war, in the minds of these carnal nations, it is strength in numbers. And that's why they're moving in that measure. All right. They're like, hell yeah, these little nations are joining with bricks. Like, yeah, man, let's, and they throwing whatever they can in the pot to bring war against this place. Okay. Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. And the land of the Chaldeans is America. You Edomites. This is speaking to Babylon. All right. Babylon the Great. Okay. Because there's no record of ancient Babylon being destroyed by a destroying wind. That destroying wind is the destructive wind from thermonuclear missiles hitting this place. That's what's coming. All right. So again, and it says, for Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, or the Lord of hosts, though their lands were filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. See, so again, the nation of Israel has not been forsaken. The Lord is going to remember us, you know, and that's the spirit, like I was going to say. And if you're listening to this and you're looking for, well, what are we going to do if this place is going to be destroyed? Have faith, have faith, have faith. Lean on the Lord, believe in the Lord, believe in the Lord. It's just that simple. Have faith that the Lord is going to deliver you. You know, that's all any of us can do. And that's power in itself, because there is no other way out of this. The only way out of this is to go up. The Lord got to literally pull you out of this fire. There is no you getting delivered out of this fire, or you delivering yourself, or you can drive away or fly away or swim away. There is no answer to that. All right. Great destruction is coming upon the planet Earth, and specifically to this land. All right. Specifically this land. But the Lord didn't forget us. All right. He is prophesied that 1/3 and the hopeful elect shall be delivered out, and the 2/3 therein shall be cut off and destroyed. That's prophecy. The majority of our people are not going to make it. And that's another lesson for another time of, hey, man, you just got to accept it, man. You know, we're going into these times where, hey, the apostles and the elders used to always say this, man. You know, and it used to be bitter. When you're young in the spirit, it's bitter to hear. Ain't nobody want to hear in the spirit. You don't want to hear it. I get it. You don't want to hear the idea that, like, man, my family might get their TVs turned off. The Lord might, unalive them. Like, fuck, you don't want to think like that, because you know, at the end of the day, even though they off in their own ways, it's like, it's your mother, that's your father. But that's the test. Scriptures say, he that loveth his mother, his father, his brother, his sister, yea, even his own life, is not fit to be a disciple of mine. You got to put everything in its proper order, and you're not wrong or wicked for that. But you got to accept it as we get older and walk this walk, because a lot of our family ain't going to make it, man. All right. A lot of our loved ones ain't going to have mercy from the Lord. And you got to accept it if that's the will of the Lord. You know, if that's the way the Lord see it fit, that's just the way the Lord see it fit, man. That ain't on you. You know, we all tried, man, with our family and loved ones. I know we all have. If you hear and you listening, you in the spirit of the Lord, there ain't no way you ain't try. Right? The first people you tell when you get this word is your family. You tell your mom or your dad, because you love them. Why wouldn't you? Like, man, I want you to be delivered. I don't want you to taste the fire. But the Lord has his ways and his the way he wants things to go. All right. Hey, shalom, Mark. It says Matthew 10:37. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Exactly. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Straight out of the scriptures. You know, that's what it's all about. It's not about hating them. The scriptures say, about hating them. But what it really means is to abhor them, to yeah, I'm rocking with you, but at the same time, you keep spiritually, you kind of keep your distance, because you understand they ain't right. Most of the time, our families ain't right. They ain't even trying to be right. So if the Lord see it fit to bring judgment that way, as painful as it may be, you just gotta eat it and keep it moving, So it says, but the Lord, the point of all that is you gotta remember the Lord ain't forget us, And it's going to look like it, man. And it's going to look like it in the flesh. It's going to look like the Lord is truly against us, because he's going to come against us. Whoo! It's going to look like that because he is. That's how heavy it is. But in the spirit of it, you got to keep your cool and understand it. That's why you got to understand, like scriptures say, the 2/3 shall be cut off. You got to really understand that the Lord coming against them as well too. But just because you seeing mostly our people getting put down, that don't mean you just, oh man, it's over with for us. Hell nah. You just got to understand, nah, it's judgment. Straight judgment is coming, man. All right. And it says, verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render upon her a recompense. Right, flee out. Before we could physically flee out of here, you got to flee out of this place spiritually. The scriptures say, hate the world and love not none of the things in it, roughly paraphrasing. You got to hate this place. All right, and I don't mean walking around with a no, in the spirit of it, you see the judgment that is needed to cleanse this place. Like, man, that's off. Keep it pushing. Mark it. You know, send that to the Lord, right? But you got to flee out of this place spiritually. You know, tomorrow is a couple hours. We'll be in October the 31st, which everybody right now is getting their costumes together. They getting all that bullshit together. Part of fleeing out of it is not participating in these bullshit ass wicked holidays, right? So again, that's part of the fleeing out of this, fleeing out of the mind frame. In a few days, people are going to be wanting to vote, right? That's not Israelite culture. All right. That's not, you can read Deuteronomy, the 17th chapter about that. If you're going to set a king above, over your people, let it be a king, let it be a person of your nation. Donald Trump is not an Israelite. All right. Kamala Harris, in my opinion, is not an Israelite. All right. That's a Jewish woman with a coolie spirit on her. All right. So we got to be fucking done with this place in your spirit, so that either you love this place and you wanted to keep going and you just want to, or you're going to be fleeing out of it and like, man, F that place. All right. I'm done with that. Fuck all of that shit. Right. So it says, I'm going to stop here. All right. Deuteronomy, this is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. Right. That's not going to happen. Okay. And this place was a golden cup. All right. Used to be a time where, you know, America was like the desired everything. Everybody wanted to come to America. Everybody wanted to be like an American, come to New York City. You know what I'm saying? Go to LA, go to these different places. That used to be the dreams of people in these other nations, right? And it used to be the big glamorous stories that you know, a great example of that is Grand Theft Auto 4 with Nico. If you gamers out there. And what was it? Nico came to America because he was hearing the stories of his cousin about how great America was. And he was like, man, I'm going to go to America. And then he found out America was just as bad as everywhere else, which just goes into the story of that golden cup has ceased. It doesn't really exist no more in the eyes of the people, man. You know what I mean? Used to be the time and the dream team, how, you know, Michael Jordan, the dream team in the 92, how they beat up the world in basketball, versus today, these teams be fighting. They're not afraid of America like that. You know, all of these things are spiritual to the extent of this place is no longer that golden cup. The Lord is causing this place to really fail. All right. So it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into our own country. And that's what's really been happening. These other countries are not lining up with America no more, man. They rather, they're going elsewhere. They're standing on the other side like, man, nah, I'm good with that, man. Yeah, you got the cooties. You know what I'm saying? So they're forsaking this place. Everybody is really forsaking this place. All right. But the people, if you look at the people, their pride won't allow them to accept it. So you can't really base off of what's happening or what's going to happen according to these people around you, because they're in delusion, right? They're blind. They can't see. They can't hear out of pride, their fatness of their ears, because they don't want to accept it. Like, that's a hard thing to accept. We only accept it through the spirit is because we understand what's coming after it. These people can't accept that, well, yeah, that's it. America's cooked. Then what? I guess I'll just play video games? No, or I guess I'll just... No, that's not what's going to happen. All right? So again, I'm going to close up here. All right? I just wanted to touch on the subject matter of civil war and civil unrest. And it's just going to really come from a position of all-out desperation and pain and frustration, really. You know, it's going to be ultimately these people being frustrated to the point where they're going to go kamikaze right here. And you got to gauge the people. And a lot of people are getting there, but not to the point. Is now this election is going to help. What I think is going to happen as well, that's going to push these people to that point, is when this war goes and you have their children, their sons and daughters being drafted. You know, when these type of events occur, when everything just like that happens, that people are going to crash out because they don't see a future, so they rather die. That's how serious it is. That's why I say you got to be mindful of the people around you, how you deal with these people, because these people are kamikaze. They are ready to crash out. All right, so be safe, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Before I go, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Hey, and shalom to all you sincere Akim throughout for all the scriptures. Much love. Shalom.